As far as fears about selling the home, I can tell you not a lot, because I've bought and sold, at least 10 or 12 houses throughout my lifetime. So I've been through the process many times, and I've had some positive experiences and some negative experiences. So I didn't really have any fears as we entered into the prospect. It was simply just about finding the right person to represent the property. Again, I have gone through and used many different realtors in different states for a lot of different properties, and some good experiences and some bad. I know that this was my parents' home. This was the home that I grew up in, and this was a circa early 60s, and in many respects was still circa early 60s inside the house. So I didn't have very high expectations on how it was going to go. I did have a realtor that I had in mind to use in the Richmond market that I'd used prior. But I tell you, when Chris Elliott reached out to me, and he reached out several times, I would say that he was pleasingly persistent. It was not so much that it was a pest, but it was just enough to stay relevant. And I decided to myself, you know what? If this guy is this persistent about putting his sign in the front yard of this house, then I think he's going to be as persistent about getting the deal closed. And he was. I can tell you that in working with Chris and his team, the difference was they did what they said they were going to do. They listened and they executed. It's that simple, but most people don't do it. So he met me, he looked great, he represented himself well, he came prepared, he had a marketing plan, and really one of the things that I truly appreciated that Chris had done was that his connections to different trades, whether it was, in this early 60s house with removing wallpaper and fixing the paint, repainting rooms, fixing brick, landscaping, power washing, even the cleaning service. It was full service, did everything for me. I seriously just had to say, go ahead, and it was done. And it was done quickly, it was done correctly, and it was done at a fair price. Dealing with Chris and his team at Elliott Real Estate, again, really, I didn't have to do much. It was a very simple transaction, okay? It was, from a communication standpoint, I never had to reach out and ask what was going on. It was regularly scheduled. I always knew what was going on. I was never in the dark. I knew when there was a showing. I knew the feedback that they gave, which was outstanding. Oftentimes you don't get much feedback. I knew when tasks were completed, whether it was the paint or the brick or things of that nature. I was always kept aware of what was going on. And when he called and said, hey, we had an offer, and it was a good offer, we had to work through some details, and he negotiated on my behalf and in good faith, and did a good job with that as well. The deal closed, and it was a very simple process. I mean that sincerely. And I have used, again, 10 or 12 houses and a realtor on both sides of that equation. That's a fair number of real estate people to compare the Elliott team to. And top tier, period. I would say that, that my experience and from also, being connected, to friends and family that are still in that particular market, and seeing, other people buying and selling the houses and understanding their struggles, that picking the right realtor is critical. You want somebody that is not just getting your listing, but is actually actively trying to sell it. Okay? And that the follow through from the Elliott team was outstanding. Again, the communication was outstanding. It was the easiest house I've ever sold, to be quite frank with you. And I mean, it was just all basically done for me. And it was simple.